Alright, let's watch the first episode of The Mandalorian. I gotta admit, I haven't watched the show since its release, and the lure and anticipation is gone. All I have now is critical perspective and a will to be entertained by a good Star Wars adventure. Now, this episode is directed by Dave Fellowney, known for working on the best cartoon of all time, The Last Airbender, also hero to the Clone Wars TV series, therefore I had high expectations for The Mandalorian. Also, the first episode of the show is written by Jon Favreau, who is a Star Wars enthusiast, who has participated in other many MCU movies. Yeah, this is a match made in heaven. If you can get these talented and passionate guys to work on a Star Wars TV show, success would be a high probability. And thankfully, for the fans and Disney, it was even more than that. The Mandalorian became an icon of the Star Wars franchise, earning his place among the most beloved and famous characters this galaxy far, far away has to offer. I like how stereotypical his badass one-liners are. He acts like a complete renegade bounty hunter, who is tough and adaptable to any situation. Also like the little ad on Quark or having he hate droids.
No droids.
Kinda how in all Western the main character has some prejudice towards certain demographics, like Indians or Mexicans, or some childhood trauma, that gets dealt with as he befriends one of them. Just like here with the robots. By the end of the first season, Mando even gets attached to a droid. When getting carried away, many people have compared the Mandalorian to a spaghetti western with Star Wars paint on it, and it kinda is an accurate assessment, which is why the show is so goddamn amazing. We have a lot of desert, tribalistic indigenous people, imperialistic villains, and diverse wildlife filled with beasts and other dangerous animals. When it comes to the main character, I gotta say, it's kinda cool to see so much personality in character coming from someone who hides his face. You can feel the calm and confidence in his voice. Also, it's such a weird feeling to understand his emotion, frustration, or anger, despite not being able to express it due to his helmet. The acting is good. Pedro Pascal truly cares about his character, and the way he embodies a ruthless but fair bounty hunter is perfect for the dangerous and forgiving environment he finds himself in. The most visually powerful scene from this episode, however, is when he's at the market, and there are some alien creatures being roasted alive, while the other similar is still trapped in a cage, looking in horror and desperation to his next of kin. This is an impactful statement of how brutal the life of all these people is in this unhospitable location. The beginning of the first episode starts with an introductory scene of our protagonist. He's hunting a bounty. He has to defeat some troublesome thugs at the bar before he can apprehend his target. The fight scene was decent. It shows how clever and ruthless Mando is in dealing with inconveniences. He straight up cuts in half one of his opponents by using the environment to his advantage. Something well written main characters are known for is adapting to their surroundings and finding ways to deal with their overwhelming numbers or stronger opponent. I was glad to see plenty of occasions where our Mandalorian comes on top purely by willpower and clever planning of his strategy. At first I was a bit scared we're gonna have a buddy cop duo with the weird alien as the witty comedy relief guy, and Mando as the stoic, angry, Snake Plissken type. A duo like Judge Dredd and Rob Schneider in the original Sylvester Stallone movie, or the iconic duo from Rush Hour. Thankfully, the weird blue alien guy gets carbonized alive, and we only have the Mandalorian to focus on. We get some insight to where we get his job offers, and how his weird cast of religious warriors interact with each other. Apparently the Mandalorian are forced to wear the helmets all the time, and have their special hideout and strict hierarchy and rules to follow. However, it seems like they have a lot of freedom in dealing business with whoever they want, even remnants of the old empire. This TV show takes place after the events of the Return of the Jedi, and the world was left in chaos and a vacuum of power was allowed to form in every corner of the galaxy. Kind of strengthens the argument how the Empire brought peace and stability, while now our warlords are ravaging as they please without a higher authority to keep them under control. The Empire is like a combination of the Roman Republic and German nationalists from the Second World War. They control and administrate its conquered lands, but also enforce laws of obedience and separate the population into categories to be better controlled and used for the greater good of the Empire. I love the scene when Mando gets to talk with this Empire official, and he's the most stereotypical proud Roman character that can be portrayed on screen. Even the phlegmatic way he talks, and how he looks down on everyone, while also talking about the natural order of things. The laws of nature will favor more brutal will, and will only allow some individuals to exist. Yep, I spotted an imperialist nationalist with a black uniform from the Second World War, right here, on my space spaghetti western show.
A man of your skill should make short work of this.
We also get introduced to the currency of this society. We also learn the value of Beskar, a strange metal associated with the Mandalorians. A particle in itself, it is a great value, but as a weapon or armor, it's even more useful. It can block lightsaber blows, and is virtually unbreakable. I like how we get more of the Star Wars lore with each new installment in the franchise, as long as it does not negate or hinder previously established aspects and abilities of the universe. I'm talking about Rey's willpower in Rise of Skywalker. Anyhow, Mando is on a mission to find the bounty, which is 50 years old. He tracks the creature down to some indigenous planet occupied by bandits, where he teams up with the local to help him bring peace to the region and capture his target. I like the "I have spoken" line he gives Mando whenever he finishes a sentence. It kinda adds to his tribalistic nature, reminiscent of how Indians used to talk with cowboys, stranded far within their lands.
I have spoken.
This whole show is basically Clint Eastwood with a much more sweatier hat. Props to you if you get my reference. It's fine for some action, and for the first episode I say it was done brilliantly. We get a new bounty hunter robot to crush the party, and he serves as a tank to absorb the damage and cover from Mandalorian, while he uses his agility, speed, and cunning to overcome overwhelming odds. Again, turning the enemy weapon against them is a nice clever trick. It's proof of great writing. When the machine gun appears, and the destruction seems doomed, Mando finds a way to turn the odds around by hijacking the weapon and turning it against the aggressor. Similar awesome writing is in the last season of Samurai Jack, where he uses the dagger to defeat his opponent as he has lost his sword, well, at the beginning of the show. Such a brilliant maneuver and clever tactical thinking. The second best scene from the show is when they find Baby Yoda as the bounty, and the robot tries to exterminate his target, but Mando shoots him right in the head. Mando was an orphan, therefore he understands the struggle and helplessness of a child. This brings it to the end of the first episode. A solid start for an amazing show. Also I like the slight repetition of the line about having Mando surrounded by 4-1, to which he replies,
We have you 4-1.
I like those odds.
just like in the beginning of the second season. It shows the clever writing, talent, and effort put into this series.